You think suffering is your enemy. You've been taught to avoid it, medicate it, silence it. But listen carefully. Suffering is the forge. Pain is the hammer. And your weakness, it's the raw steel waiting to be shaped. Every wound you've endured, every betrayal you've swallowed, every humiliation you've carried, it wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to strip you down, burn the softness out of you, and expose the truth. No one is coming to save you. Comfort is the silent killer. Ease is the slow poison. Men drown in softness, suffocated by the pillows of modern life. But you are not here to drown. You are here to rise through the fire, to take the agony that bends most men into cowards and turn it into a weapon that makes you untouchable. Machiavelli understood the law. Transformation is born in cold necessity, not comfort. The weak cling to illusions of fairness, to fantasies of safety. But you must kill the fantasy. You must embrace the cruelty of reality. And once you do, you will see the truth. Suffering is not your curse, it is your fuel, and with it, you will reinvent your life into something unbreakable. Number 1. Weak minds seek comfort. Weak men run from the storm. They chase comfort like a drug, wrapping themselves in softness, begging for safety. But comfort does not protect you. It kills you quietly. It rots your edge. It steals your hunger. It makes you forget that life is war. The world does not reward the comfortable. It devours them. Every empire collapses when its men grow too soft, too addicted to ease, too afraid of discomfort. And right now, you must decide which side you stand on. Pain is the price of greatness. Discomfort is the toll gate to power. Every moment you avoid suffering, you lose a piece of yourself. Every time you surrender to comfort, you feed your weakness and starve your strength. Do you want to be untouchable? Then embrace what weak minds run from. Step willingly into discomfort. Train your body to endure. Train your mind to hold steady when others break. Stop craving the false warmth of safety. It will never satisfy you. Instead, demand the fire, demand the cold. Demand the struggle that burns mediocrity out of you. Machiavelli wrote that necessity sharpens the spirit of men. Only when pressed by suffering, only when forced by reality, do men discover what they are capable of. Weak minds will never know this truth. They will die chasing comfort, blind to the fact that it was their cage. But you are different. You have the chance to turn suffering into steel. You have the choice to strip away every weakness and build yourself into a man who cannot be bent, cannot be broken. Comment below. Comfort is my enemy. Struggle is my strength. Number 2. Kill attachment. Attachment is the leash that keeps men enslaved. You cling to people, possessions, titles, and illusions, and in that clinging, you give away your power. The world senses your dependence, and it exploits it. Machiavelli warned, he who depends on others is already weak, already compromised. Attachment makes you predictable, controllable, breakable. You fear loss because you cannot imagine yourself without what you clutch to your chest. But here's the truth. Everything you think you own can be taken from you, your wealth, your status, even the people you love. And when they are taken, if your identity collapses with them, you were never strong. You were merely decorated in borrowed armor. The solution is ruthless. Kill attachment. Stand in the cold void of independence, where no chain holds you. When you sever the ties of need, when you no longer cling to outcomes, you become ungovernable. If you love, love without dependence. If you possess, hold it without worship. If you lead, lead as though tomorrow it could all be stripped away, because only then can you stand as a man who cannot be threatened. Loss will come for you, betrayal will strike you, death will strip your hands empty. But if you kill attachment before life does, you rob suffering of its sting. You weaponize detachment into power. You become the man who walks away unshaken while others crumble. Kill the leash, burn the chain, then rise unbound. Comment below. Nothing owns me. I walk untethered. Number 3, weaponize your presence. Most men move through the world like ghosts. Unnoticed, irrelevant, invisible. They lack gravity. They enter a room and dissolve into the background, begging silently for approval, shrinking under the weight of other men's eyes. But not you. You are not here to blend. You are here to dominate the air you breathe. Your presence must strike before you even speak. Machiavelli knew that perception was power, that men are moved more by appearances than truth, and so you must forge your presence into a weapon. This is not about arrogance. This is about control. Control of your posture, your silence, your words, your gaze. Control of the energy you project so that every step announces authority. People must feel you before they hear you. They must sense your composure, your certainty, your refusal to be shaken. This requires discipline. Your body must be trained into calm dominance. No frantic movements, no nervous fidgets. Your voice must be sharpened into command, measured, deliberate, carrying weight. Your eyes must cut through masks, making others falter under the force of your attention. When you master this, you will discover the hidden truth. The world bends to presence. Weak men seek approval. Strong men radiate inevitability. Presence makes others anticipate your command. Surrender before resistance begins. Follow without being asked. But beware, presence cannot be faked. The timid man who tries to mimic it becomes a caricature. True presence is born from inner control, from the silence within you that does not beg, does not hurry, does not doubt. It comes from a man who has embraced suffering, killed attachment, and burned weakness out of his soul. When you stand, you do not posture, you embody. When you speak, you do not plead, you decree. And when you fall silent, the air itself becomes heavy, forcing others to wait, to wonder, to bend. Weaponize your presence, and you will never have to chase power. Power will chase you. Comment below, my presence is my power. Number 4, embrace betrayal. Betrayal is not an accident. It is a law of power. At some point, those you trust will turn. Allies will fracture. Friends will reveal envy. Lovers will withhold loyalty. The weak cry over betrayal. They collapse, clinging to the illusion that loyalty is eternal. But Machiavelli knew better. He warned that men are fickle, driven by their own interest, quick to abandon when storms arrive. To resist this truth is to live blind. Instead, embrace betrayal. Expect it. Welcome it. When it comes, do not shatter. Transform. Each knife in your back is proof that you were dangerous enough to warrant treachery. Each act of betrayal strips away the weak from your circle and leaves only the strong or no one at all, which is often better. Betrayal is not your end, it is your sharpening. It teaches you to stop leaning on false loyalty, to stop handing out your trust like a beggar handing coins. It forces you into self-reliance, into vigilance, into cold clarity. The betrayed man who survives becomes untouchable. He learns to observe the subtle cracks in words and actions. He learns to move without revealing his entire hand. He learns to control his own heart so no dagger can pierce it again. Betrayal frees you. It reminds you that dependence is death, that trust is a gamble, that only power is permanent. And once you stop fearing betrayal, once you embrace it, no one can use it against you. They can lie, they can scheme, they can abandon, but you will remain steady as stone, unbroken, transformed. Do not curse betrayal, thank it. Every traitor is a teacher, every knife is a lesson, and every scar is another layer of armor. Stand tall in betrayal's fire, and you will emerge sharper, colder, stronger, untouchable. Comment below. Betrayal sharpens my steel. Number 5. Command your emotions. The man who cannot command his emotions is already enslaved. He is a puppet, his strings pulled by insult, by rejection, by fear, by desire. Watch him. He snaps in rage when mocked. He collapses in grief when abandoned. He drowns in anxiety when uncertain. He trembles in lust when tempted. Such a man is no man at all. He is a slave, dressed in flesh. Machiavelli's law is cold and clear. The ruler is not he who conquers armies, but he who conquers himself. Emotional mastery is the iron core of power. Without it, every enemy can provoke you. Every manipulator can bait you. Every betrayer can pull you apart with ease. But when you command your emotions, you become untouchable. You feel anger, but do not erupt. You channel it into strategy. You feel fear but do not retreat. You sharpen it into caution. You feel desire but do not grovel. You control it until it bends to your will. Emotional control does not mean numbness. It means weaponization. It means turning volatile chaos into precise force. The man who controls his emotions becomes the calm in the storm, the eye of the hurricane, the presence that unsettles all who face him. People fear what they cannot read. They cannot manipulate the man who shows no panic, no desperation, no trembling weakness. His face is stone, his voice deliberate, his movements steady. Inside, he may feel the same waves of fear and doubt as all men, but he bends those waves into fuel, never letting them spill outward. Imagine a battlefield, arrows flying, chaos screaming, men breaking ranks in terror. In the center stands one man, unshaken, his expression calm, his voice commanding, his mind clear. That man becomes a force greater than armies. You must be that man. Train yourself daily. When insulted, remain silent. When tempted, remain unmoved. When chaos erupts, remain calm. Every time you resist the pull of emotion, you strengthen the iron grip of self-command. Eventually, your emotions become your soldiers, not your masters. And then, when you unleash them, they do not scatter wildly. They strike with precision under your order. This is the law. Control yourself, and you control the battlefield. Lose control, and you are nothing but prey. Remember, weak men are ruled by emotion. Powerful men rule through emotion. Command yours, and no one will ever command you. Comment below, I command myself. I command the world. Number 6. Turn pain into discipline. Pain is the raw currency of transformation. Every man suffers, but only the rare few convert that suffering into discipline. The masses drown in their pain, numbing it with distractions, alcohol, meaningless pleasures, empty comfort. They waste their agony, begging for escape instead of forging it into power. But you must be different. Your pain is not your burden. It is your training ground. Every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every humiliation, every betrayal is fuel. The weak cry, the strong build. Discipline is born in suffering because discipline is the refusal to be broken by it. When your body aches, discipline keeps you moving. When your mind screams, discipline forces silence. When temptation claws at you, discipline chains you to your mission. Pain will test you daily. It will whisper to quit, to rest, to seek comfort. But when you learn to welcome pain, when you learn to demand it, you become unstoppable. Pain becomes proof that you are alive, proof that you are sharpening. Understand this. Discipline is not motivation. Motivation is a flickering flame, weak and fleeting. Discipline is steel. It does not care about mood. It does not wait for inspiration. It obeys only the command of necessity. You cannot build discipline in comfort. You forge it in struggle. Each time you resist weakness, you add another link to your chain of power. Each time you rise when you want to sleep, each time you work when you want to rest, each time you stay cold and focused when others collapse, you are building the fortress of your will. And one day, that fortress will be unbreachable. The world will throw chaos at you. It will hand you pain without mercy. It will tear at your flesh and mind. But discipline will keep you standing. Remember, pain is the fire, discipline is the blade, and you are the blacksmith. Use your suffering to shape yourself into something greater than flesh, greater than fear, greater than circumstance. Pain will never leave you, but with discipline, you will never bow to it. Instead, you will rise through it, sharpened, hardened, unyielding. Comment below. Pain builds my discipline. Discipline builds my power. Number 7. Silence is authority. Words are cheap. The world is full of men who never stop talking, who spill their thoughts, their fears, their insecurities with every breath. They confuse noise for power, chatter for influence, expression for control. But the truth is brutal. The more you speak, the more you expose yourself. Every unnecessary word reveals weakness, reveals your hand, reveals your lack of control. Silence, on the other hand, is a weapon sharper than any blade. Silence unsettles. Silence commands. Silence creates an invisible gravity that forces others to fill the void with their nervous words, their confessions, their doubts. He who speaks less listens more, sees more, and manipulates more. Machiavelli understood this law. Rulers hold their power not by giving away their thoughts, but by concealing them, revealing only what strengthens their image. A man of silence becomes a mirror, forcing others to project onto him while he keeps his true mind hidden behind stone. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is competing for attention, spilling their energy into the air, and then you enter, calm, steady, silent. Your very stillness pulls eyes to you. People wonder what you are thinking, what you are planning, why you do not join the noise. They lean closer, desperate to interpret the smallest movement, the slightest word. That is authority. Authority is not earned by shouting, it is earned by restraint. When you do speak, your words strike like iron, because they are rare, deliberate, chosen with precision. Your silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It forces others to reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. It makes you untouchable because no one can manipulate what they cannot see. The undisciplined man cannot endure silence. He fills it with nervous chatter. The strong man wields silence as a weapon. Train yourself to say less, to reveal less, to let silence work for you. Control the room without effort, without shouting, without begging, simply by existing as a presence no one can penetrate. Remember, lions do not roar constantly, they sit in silence, and their presence alone commands respect. Become that lion, speak when it matters, hold silence when it doesn't, and let the world bow to your authority. Comment below, my silence is my throne. Number 8, dominate through detachment. The man who is attached is the man who can be controlled. When you crave approval, they will manipulate you with praise. When you crave love, they will bind you with affection. When you crave wealth, they will enslave you with promises of gold. And when you fear loss, they will break you with its threat. Attachment is the invisible chain that makes men kneel. But detachment is freedom. Detachment is power. Machiavelli knew the ruler must never be bound by love, by pity, by desire for security. He must be cold enough to walk away from anything, ruthless enough to sever ties when necessity demands it. To dominate through detachment is not to stop caring, it is to stop depending. It is to own everything but be owned by nothing. When you detach, you can act with clarity while others drown in emotion. You can see the game for what it is while they are blinded by need. You become untouchable because no threat shakes you, no bribe tempts you, no loss destroys you. Detachment means you hold the sword while others hold their chains. Weak men cling to outcomes, terrified of losing what they have. Strong men detach, knowing they can rebuild, knowing they can walk away, knowing nothing external defines them. The man who can walk away from everything is the man who cannot be broken by anything. You must train this ruthlessness. When you feel your heart clinging, cut it free. When you feel your mind obsessing, pull it back into discipline. Detachment does not mean apathy. It means control. It means choosing when to invest and when to withdraw, without being enslaved by either. Detachment makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. No one can box you in, no one can pressure you, no one can hold you hostage to fear or longing. This is the law. Own your mind fully, and never let it be chained to what you cannot control. Detach, and you will dominate. Because while others are trembling over what they may lose, you are already 2 steps ahead, ready to burn the bridge, ready to build another empire, ready to move through fire untouched. You do not beg, you do not cling, you stand free, and freedom is the highest form of dominance. Comment below, nothing binds me, I am untouchable. Number 9, fear is leverage. Men are not guided by logic. They are not ruled by fairness, nor by reason, nor by noble ideals. They are ruled by fear. Fear is the invisible hand that drives their choices, that dictates their silence, that bends their will. Machiavelli knew this law. It is safer to be feared than loved, because love is fragile and fleeting, but fear is solid, unforgettable, burned into the mind like fire on flesh. To understand this is to wield the most primal weapon of power. Weak men avoid fear. They want to be liked, they want to be accepted, they want to be harmless. But harmless men are disposable. The world forgets them. No one bends to their will because they inspire nothing. You must be different. You must embrace fear, not as a victim, but as a master. This does not mean becoming reckless or cruel. It means becoming formidable. It means projecting an aura that others dare not test. It means carrying yourself in such a way that betrayal against you feels dangerous, that disrespect toward you feels costly. Fear is not about screaming threats or spilling blood at every turn. It is about presence, discipline, and the quiet certainty that you will not hesitate when the moment demands action. Men must know, even if unspoken, that to cross you is to suffer. Fear sharpens loyalty. Fear deters betrayal. Fear creates respect where love fails. And yet, fear must be balanced. It cannot turn into chaos. If men hate you more than they fear you, they will unite to destroy you. The art lies in striking the line. Inspire just enough fear that men obey, but not so much that they conspire. How do you do this? By being coldly consistent, by enforcing consequences without hesitation, by never bluffing. If you speak a punishment, you deliver it. If you draw a line, you defend it. Weak men issue empty threats. Strong men make examples. Over time, this consistency builds your reputation, and reputation is power multiplied. You won't have to raise your voice, won't have to draw your blade. Your name alone will carry weight. That is leverage. Fear does not mean others will love you. It means they will respect you, obey you, remember you, and respect outlasts affection. To embrace fear is to embrace reality. Men bow not to kindness, but to strength. Be feared, and you will never be forgotten. Comment below. Fear is my weapon. Respect is my shadow. Number 10. The law of transformation. There is one law that governs every man who rises from nothing to power, from weakness to dominance, from brokenness to unshakable force. Transformation is born in suffering, sustained in discipline, and crowned in detachment. Machiavelli understood this truth centuries ago. Men are not elevated by comfort. They are reforged by necessity, by fire, by cold reality. And now it is your turn to embody this law. Look at the pain you've carried, the betrayals you've endured, the failures that nearly buried you. Do you not see? These were not curses. They were the crucible. They were the furnace designed to burn away the excess, to strip you down to the essence of who you could be. The world tried to crush you, and in doing so, it handed you the raw material for transformation. Every scar on your body, every scar on your soul, is not a weakness. It is an engraving of your becoming, but only if you choose it. Transformation is not automatic. Weak men suffer and die the same men they always were. Strong men suffer and emerge as something else entirely, harder, sharper, colder, untouchable. This is the law. You must use every wound as fuel, every setback as training, every loss as a lesson. You must build discipline where once there was chaos, calm where once there was rage, silence where once there was desperation. And above all, you must kill the illusions that keep other men chained. Comfort, attachment, validation. Strip yourself clean of them. Then rise as something beyond ordinary flesh. Rise as presence. Rise as command. Rise as inevitability. This world respects only one thing: power. Power over yourself, power over your emotions, power over your circumstances, and power over the minds of others. Transformation is the coldest law because it demands sacrifice. You must bury your old self. You must burn the boy and carve the man. You must betray who you were to become who you must be. Do this, and you will walk through life untouchable, unshaken, unforgettable. The storms will come, the knives will strike, the world will turn against you, but nothing will bend you. You will be iron dressed in flesh, silence wrapped in storm, power embodied. That is transformation. That is the law. Comment below. I rise through suffering. I am transformation. And if these words have sharpened you, if they've lit the fire inside you, remember, this is only the beginning. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Welcome to the Dark Codex.